Hey! Hey! Long gun from behind at a distance. I hope you're not starting at this video, because this technique is really just a combination of two things that you should already know in Krav Maga. The first thing is handgun from behind at a distance. It's the same redirection. I recognize there's a threat behind me. He said something, gave me a command, my sixth sense, my spidey sense, whatever it is, but I turn and look, I see a problem. Problem is, there's a gun pointed at me. Exactly the same as handgun from behind at a distance. My elbow starts the motion, my hand comes under, fingers over the top, thumb under, and my body rolls around and in to start bringing body weight in that direction. That's handgun from behind at a distance, same thing. Burst in with my punch, still, same thing as handgun. I'm grabbing, and handgun, I grab the wrist. In this instance, I'm gonna grab right above the trigger assembly, somewhere back here by where the upper meets the stock. Boom, counterattack and dislodge as I do. Turn, now remember, I'm striking with my body. Strike, strike, and go. We'll step through this a little bit more in case you forgot the second half of that lesson, which is long gun defenses. All of our long gun defenses pretty much end up the same way. Me punching with the front sight when overhand rights, or depending if I was on the other side, overhand left strikes to the gunman's face. These punches are made with my body, not just my arm. I want the gunman to feel an immense amount of forward and downward pressure on them as I'm striking. But they're all the same on the long gun defenses. So I'm putting together handgun from behind at a distance and my long gun combatives and takeaway. Redirect the line of fire. Burst in, punch, boom, here's where I switch to long gun. I grab it above the trigger assembly. I'm gonna dislodge by pulling out along the axis of the barrel. As I do that, I'm using that to propel a good strong kick in there. Now, here comes that rowing motion with my body. I bring the stock to my hip, bang, and there's my first punch. Bang, there's my second punch, bang, there's my third punch, maybe four, and I make my takeaway. The takeaway is always the same on long gun. I am always taking the stock to one side of my hip, the muzzle's on the other side of my hip and pointed up. I'm striking with my fist or the front sight post. After I've struck him a number of times and I decide to go for a takeaway, I'm shaving his arm with this barrel. I'm keeping it very close to his arm and driving forward and down until the long gun is parallel to the floor. As I do that, I'm just not the way you hold it, of course. I want you to see Aaron's hands. As I do that, it starts to break his grip on this part of the gun. If he had a pistol grip, simulate a pistol grip. If he had a pistol grip, the same thing would be happening here. The pistol grip would be broken out of his hand. You can grab it. His other hand can stay on the gun though. So I need to use his arm to inhibit his wrist from continuing following and his hand from following. So I'm doing this sharp explosive movement that pops the grip part out of his hand, and the foregrip hand runs into his rear arm and gets in the way and snaps it out. That's my disarm. Now it might be on the other side. It might have been if I went to the dead side. No, excuse me, the takeaway is always the same. The muzzle might have been on the other side, might have been here as I went, but I'm still doing the exact same takeaway, always on this side of his body. The gunman's trigger side hand is where it is. Let's visit this technique again slowly. Recognize the threat from a distance. Elbow leads the motion. Make an upside down gun from the front basically. Thumb under, fingers over the top, roll my body in as I do it. Now burst in deep. My foot's gonna go to the outside of the gunman's and I'm gonna deliver a strong punch. By the way, this punch can also stop me from getting hit. If he decides to try to smack me with the back of that gun, my arm's in the way. So I'm literally defending against a retention technique as I make this punch. Now I grab, dislodge and strike. Here comes more strikes. And then finally the takeaway. The best way to be good at long gun from behind at a distance, live or dead side, is to go back and review handgun from behind at a distance, and then review all of your long gun defenses, because you're just going to be putting those two things together. Then come back and look at this video a number of times, clean things up, and you'll be great at it. While we're on it, let's go ahead and show you dead side. If I turn this way, I'm doing the exact same technique, redirect, control and counter. Now, the gun's not going across his body anymore. It's turning him 90 degrees, that's fine. I get a good shot at his face, at his chin line there. I'm gonna recoil, I'm gonna come under. I don't have to worry so much about him striking me with the butt of the gun now, because his face is in the way and he's in a bad position to do it. But this punch also helps inhibit it if he tries. Punch, recoil, dive under his arm. Now the reason I'm under his arm, I want you to see this. I'm on his dead side. When I make this punch and I go under his arm, if he tries to turn away from me, I can stay with the gun. If I went over his arm on the dead side and he tries to turn away from me, his shoulder can pry my arm or hand off of the gun. And I'm gonna lose control with this arm. So I'm going under to make sure I can stay with that gun and be strong. Redirect, control and counter, recoil, under the arm. Everything else is the same now. Dislodge. Can I give a knee when I do it? Absolutely. Now, stock's gonna be on my right hip, muzzle high on my left, body strikes, body strikes, body strikes, and here's my same takeaway. Right down his trigger side arm. Very little changes from live side to dead side on long gun defense from a distance. As always, do not train with a real firearm. Use an inert weapon like this, or just get a stick or a broomstick. If you have a partner that can hold it for you. If not, you can just go through the motions dry. Here's the motion dry on the camera. I'll start by doing this to maybe a mirror. I'll turn and look, and I'll send my redirecting hand. I'll turn and look, bend my elbow, send my redirecting hand. I'll turn and look, send my elbow, make my redirection. My body's rolling in that direction already. I should feel my body weight going towards the mirror when I do this. Now, I can burst in and follow my redirecting hand. Redirect. Burst in and follow my redirecting hand. And then I can do everything else after that it needs doing. All right, you guys have fun with this. Send us an email if you have questions. We'll get you all straightened out and squared away. Other than that, we'll see you at the next lesson.